Today I'm going to be talking about a book which I've always wanted to. In fact, I had wanted to begin this booktubing journey with this book, but I was always too afraid, and thanks to Shomili, my friend, who reminded about this book to me again. I read this book when I was going through sort of a depressing phase of my life, and even though I know there is nothing that can immediately pull you out of the blues, when I anchored myself on this book, I feel like this book really dragged me out of the bad place pretty slowly but gradually. Yeah, I was sort of obsessed about the book. It's kind of creepy now. I should probably stop talking at this point. So in this review, I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of the book. I'm going to be talking about why I personally absolutely love the book and might be a bit biased towards the book. And in the end, I'm also going to be talking about why people have extreme negative reaction against the book. Yeah, I have heard a lot of criticism against the book, and I'm going to be talking about how I feel those are not true. Stay right till end of the book to know what is my favorite quote from this book. Before beginning, let's take a quick background check. So when this book was being written, this book is like, the time of this book is contemporary to the time when Anne Frank was also writing her book. This is based on Nazi Germany. This was written when Hitler had ironclad regime on Germany. When the story unfolds, Hitler is sending both Jews and communists to the concentration camp. The fault of the communists were that they were Jew sympathizers, per se. In these concentration camps, as some of you might be aware, they were made to suffer in such slow, torturous way that most of them did not even make out alive. The book follows Leisel Meminger. Leisel Meminger is a sort of a teenager who is arriving at the German town of Molching with her mother, who is unable to take care of her and her brother, and her brother dies during the journey. That is basically how the book begins. That is basically how we meet Leisel, with her brother's death. She arrives in the foster care of Rosa and Hans Hubermans. She forms a deep bond with the local boy Rudy, and their bond is extremely beautiful and sort of heartbreaking, I guess. So the Hubermans teach her how to read, and books become her passion, so much so that she even ends up stealing books from the mayor and his wife, and they kind of encourage it because it was one of those difficult times when you had very little to go with. Her thirst for book is unsatiable, and she kind of terms herself the book thief. That is, she is so deeply engrossed with books, and she has to steal it, because we are talking about a time when poverty was extremely real and gritty and literally everywhere in Germany. Meanwhile, her surroundings keep changing at a super fast rate because her friends are joining the Hitler's youth army. Her foster mother, Rosa, loses her job. The Hubermans also foster this Jewish man named Max, who is living secretly in their basement and who forms a deep sort of a sibling relationship with Leisel, and together they write books and explore literature in a very, I think, poignant but at the same time very touching manner. The book reaches its climax. Yeah, she does that a lot. The book reaches its climax when Max is captured by the Nazis, and when Leisel is still sitting in her basement making her manuscript of the book, The Book Thief, and her entire street is bombed clean. I mean, the tension that whether she and Max ever actually meet, whether Leisel and her family survive this, how long do they survive this? It's a palpable tension. The narrator of the book is, wait for it, Death. Death is almost humane, almost sensitive, but not quite. Death hates the job of taking away human beings. I mean, Death's prose, Death's narrative is very lyrical, at the same time very quiet. It is very philosophical as well. I mean, I love this narration. This really hits very deep. Death is the omnipresent third-person narrator of the story. The protagonist of this book, Leisel Meminger, is a very relatable character. I spent my high school years obsessing over her. I mean, I literally changed my pen name to Leisel. I was so obsessed. It is creepy. It reminds me of this intense time I spent during my, weird depressive phase. So yeah, I mean, Leisel is a very passionate individual. She is She is someone with whom the readers form a deep connection immediately. I feel like this book is very soft yet very, very sharp. I feel like it is extremely real and yet has a surreal quality. I don't know, I feel that this book reads like a heartbreak and as well as love. I have probably recommended this book to everyone I know. Let's talk about why some people do not like this book. So for starters, some people find it extremely slow-paced and boring, and let me give you a personal anecdote. I finished this book in one night, the night before my annual exams. I could not put it down. I feel like after the first few chapters, the book gets into its pace really quickly, and once it just gains its pace, it becomes like unputdownable in a way, I guess. Also, I feel like teenagers usually do better with this book than adults, because after all, this book is actually shelved as a young adult novel. So I feel like the thrill, the exhilaration that the 16-year-old me got from this book might not be the same if I would read it for the first time as a 20-something person. Secondly, I feel like people are extremely disappointed because there is no as such climax. In that sense, the book is very anticlimactic. If you are looking for, say, like a problem that needs to be solved, some sort of driving force, some sort of ultimate solution, then you'll be disappointed because this book does not have any of those. So before you go in, you should know that this book is rather ordinary. It is like a representation of an ordinary life. It is nothing cinematic. It does not give you a movie-like experience or a movie-like thrill. I personally really like this mundane, daily quality of the book. It helped me connect better with all the characters, minus Hitler, now that I think of it. Thirdly, people feel like this book is filled with spoilers itself. I mean, obviously, when Death is the narrator, I mean, like, he is an omnipresent, omnipotent sort of person. So when Death is the narrator, you have to expect that some beans will be spilled. Of course, you will come to know about who is going to die and how will the novel end and all that. You come to know about this very early in the book. So a lot of people get disappointed that there is nothing for them to discover. I think it really talks about the fact that how Death was sort of a mundane presence in Germany during those times. It was like an everyday presence that was always looming around people's head. It was there constantly reminding that death is real. In our actual original life, death does not give us a warrant, right? I mean, we do not get any warning before our loved ones get taken away from us. So at least in the novel, I feel like death will save you from the heartbreak, but even when you know which character is going to die, you cannot help but fall in love with them. So that's been my review of Markus Zusak's The Book Thief. I mean, this is like the first time I'm saying the name of this novel in this entire review. Yeah, so that's been my review of Markus Zusak's The Book Thief. And if you have liked this review, please do give this a big thumbs up and do subscribe to our channel. If you're new here, you can check our other videos once you subscribe. So I won't be giving this book a rating because this is like my trip down the high school memory lane. So I cannot give this book a rating. So what I will instead do is, I will end this book by quoting my favorite line from The Book Thief. How about a kiss? Some I can't keep my face straight. Yeah, but that's my favorite line.